Hello everybody, Jan of Jan Hicks Creates here. It's time for a stitch with me. And do you see what I'm working on? Told you it was going to come back out to play. Hard to see it all. It's all caught up in my peels. These little things here are called peels. They are meant to go around spools of sewing thread to keep the thread kind of from unraveling, but they do a great job when you're stitching in hand to contain your fabric. So shades of gold, 36 count mystery linen in kind of a goldish color. The floss is silk floss, the gorgeous darling colorway from Mrs. Sadus. My favorite silk. And it is so good to be working on this again. I'll be working on this for the entire week. This is my big project for the week. And so I really hope to get a chunk done. I hope to get the entire center medallion done this week. I did get the main part of the Time for Season Sal done. I don't have I just started on the corner, that brown kind of corner piece yesterday. So that will go to being my another 1 hour a day, because I'm also working on the new Jane Marshall 1857 sampler from Hands Across the Sea. That is the fundraiser sampler for the Australian bushfires. My voice sounds a little gravelly. I have been up for a while. Clear my throat here. But it is a little early, 8:13 a.m., Friday, January 17th, 69 degrees and partly cloudy, going up to a gorgeous 73 today. This is the beautiful time of year. Not much, well, I guess it's still fairly humid, but not the sticky, cloying humidity. And nice trade winds to blow it away. So yeah, I'm getting this done early today because I do have a hair appointment. I have to leave about an hour, a little over an hour before I have to leave. So getting this done early. I don't know that I'll get it uploaded. I don't have a lot of editing to do on these, but I don't know whether I'll get it uploaded in time. But I did want to get it recorded. Mike will be home early today. He'll be home maybe before I leave. If not, he'll definitely be home before I get home. So I'm always more comfortable recording when he's not here. Especially these kind of just rambling, off the cuff kind of. Oh, look how pretty that is. The subtle change in the color of this floss just gets me every single time. Just adore this. So yeah, I'm getting my hair cut. The Picture Plus, the place I got the mushrooms framed for my boys, is in the same mall where I get my hair cut. And so I'm taking my fractal bookmark there to have that framed as well. So I'll be taking that with me today. So I should have that back by next week. So excited. Yeah. Hopefully Mike will have more news about the move. The paperwork is the form that had to be signed. 3 offices back in Maryland, 3 signatures, plus HR approval, and then 3 signatures here. I think there was only, as of yesterday, there was only 1 more signature here. The HR office was geared up to get moving on his PCS, permanent change of station, for those of you who are not familiar with government speak. once the final signature, then they start making all of his appointments for medical and possibly a polygraph. We're not sure yet, whatever other ones have to happen before the orders are written. So HR has already started that process. They're ready to start making those appointments once that final signature is done. So I'm hoping by the end of next week, that process will be pretty much moving well along. So I think we're on track still to head out to San Antonio the beginning of February for our house hunting trip. Today I hope to spend some time. I spent some time yesterday cleaning up more upstairs. I hope to spend a lot of this weekend getting the yarn into the vacuum bags, and need to get some more bins and start packing up stuff that I have on my desks. Oops, wrong place. I mean, the movers do all the packing, and I could leave all that stuff out, but I'd be more comfortable if I at least have all my little, knick-knacky things just kind of packed in bins. Yeah. I think that's what I did the last time. I don't remember. But anyway, I really hope to get the yarn is the main thing. If I can get that done this weekend, that'll be like a big checkbox taken care of. I'm not packing up everything at this point because we still have, a couple months. Well, a month and a half. Alrighty then. Let me check this. Is this falling in the right place? Yes, okay. So yeah, things are moving along. Get my yoga in every day. Very pleased with how consistent I'm being. I can't say that I'm seeing the reduction in pain in my back yet like I had hoped. I need to start getting some massages too added into this. Get a drink of water here and see if that clears up my throat some. So, yeah. Like I said, I worked a little bit yesterday up in the loft, cleaning stuff and organizing, and by the end of that, my back was pretty hammered, which rather frustrated me. A lot yet to do in this move. And I want to be going in the right direction with my back, not backwards, so I don't know. We have it in the back of our mind that once we get settled in San Antonio, if I need to, I'm going to be starting the process all over with a new doctor there. X-ray, MRI, all that with my back. Because it's not as good as I would hope. I have a few days every now and then where there isn't much pain, but I still can't walk very far. I still can't do a whole lot with it, so it's just annoying. I'm so tired of it. Of course, I read a post by somebody on Facebook yesterday that she's going on her, 4th or 5th month straight of migraine pain. Some days are better than others, but she always has a migraine, and how awful is that? At least with the back, when I take a couple Motrin, that makes it go away. She's having a hard time finding anything to work on her migraines, so I feel for her. So let's see. What else is happening? One of the things I did was whittle down more of my pile of stuff that I can't be parted with. I put about half of it in the bin to be packed in the household goods, so I think that's pretty good. There's still a chunk coming with me. Of course, then the other thing I'm thinking about is all of my fabric. It's in my big chifforobe type, wardrobe type thing in the bedroom where I keep it so I can lay it flat. And they'll just plastic wrap basically around, keep everything in the drawers and just wrap it up. And it'll be safe enough, but I'm thinking, well, maybe some of those really big, nice pieces I should take with me. I'm so paranoid about things. I mean, it's not like I haven't done this enough that... And this move isn't anywhere near as long as the Maryland to here move, so... I don't know. We did find out we do need to get health certificates for the cats, though. Thank heavens my friends here, my stitchy friends, know about these things. Apparently, just to get them on the plane, you have to have a health certificate from the vet. Now, that's not a big deal. But we didn't think we needed anything, so we're thankful to learn that in plenty of time. It's something that has to be 10 days before we leave. So once we get the orders and the orders, all the orders have is a start date for when he should be on station at his next place, at the place in San Antonio. And so we kind of take that date and work backwards for when we want things to happen. And he pretty much, tells them when he thinks he can be there. I think we're looking at March. Oh, I forget which day. Like the second Monday in March, maybe. Will be his... Maybe the third Monday will be his start date at his new job. So he's looking forward to it. He's kind of looking forward to working a job where there really isn't any worry of having to go on 24-hour shift work and having to deal with all the fun that goes along with that. There's something to be said for working in a shop that is dealing with something that people care about. Not that his next job is not going to be, something that people care about. It's just a different kind of world, I guess. But, it's nice to know that you're contributing to something, that what you're doing is helping the decision makers back in Washington have a better view of what's going on. Oops, sorry. So, yeah. But there's also something to be said at his age for not having to get up in the middle of the night and not having to work, 15-hour shifts, and having worked 74 hours in 1 week is kind of brutal. And then his sleep schedule's so totally screwed up that he has a hard time getting back into sync. Oh, this is so pretty. So yeah, our whole mind's pretty much set on what's happening in San Antonio. I am having I'm weird. What can I say? I think I mentioned before all of the antique stores there are in that area that I'm just blown away. And I have ideas for what I want my backdrop for my videos to look like in whatever room I end up being set up in San Antonio, whatever we end up getting. And so I've been looking at antique stores, and I look at, Google has all the images of all the photos that people have posted. And so in the evenings when I'm getting tired and almost time for bed, I'll just go to Google Maps and find the antique stores and just start looking through the pictures. And oh my goodness, some really wacky stuff. And each store seems to have like a different vibe, a different feeling. But I actually saw some antique samplers in one of the stores. Now, I don't know, this is one of these videos, not really a video, but kind of like a Google Maps thing where you press the arrow and it takes you further down the aisle. So, it didn't have a date on it, so I don't know, how long ago those images were taken. But there were actually 2 antique samplers hanging on the wall of this one place. So it's like, house hunting trip. I know what I'm doing. As well as checking out the neighborhoods. I'll be checking out the antique stores, and especially that one in particular. I don't expect them to still be there. But who knows, maybe they got some more in. But I have ideas. Can't wait. So anyway, gotta start going through my clothes again and seeing if there's any I want to get rid of. Doing all that fun stuff. So there is a new tag out. Christine Slaughter, Stitch All the Things, has come up with a new Flosstube tag. For those that are new to Flosstube tags are basically just questions that people come up with for us to talk about in our videos. Just kind of getting to know me better type of questions. So she has some of the questions people come up with either aren't relevant or I just think are stupid. If you'll pardon my saying so. They're just not things, if you had $1 million, what would you do with it? I'm just like, sorry, I don't waste my time thinking about that kind of thing. Anyway, but her questions are kind of fun, so since I don't have anything else to talk about, I thought I'd kind of run through these a little bit. First one, have you ever called into a radio station? And if so, why? I am sure at some point in my life, I've called into a radio station. That would have been so long ago, I don't remember why. But it would have been to win tickets, maybe to request a song, back in the day when radio stations were all we had. I have a friend, though, one of my former neighbors back in Maryland, who, she was quite frankly amazing. The radio station she listened to in the greater Baltimore area, always had tickets to concerts, and it was a country station, so it was, country music, country artists. I swear, every time she called in, she would win. That woman has won more tickets to concerts than anybody I have ever known. It's just really kind of amazing. But anyways, yeah. I'm sure I have at some point. I don't remember why. What was an odd task or chore you were given as a child? Cleaning the rocks out of my father's garden. My father had a fairly big garden in his backyard where I grew up in western Pennsylvania. And sitting on his, I don't even know what it's called now. He has a riding lawnmower, a tractor, that he would hook up his, I don't know whether it's a plow, but it was just something that he'd hitch onto the tractor that had the blades that he would drag through the garden to loosen up the soil in the spring. And whenever he thought he needed more weight, he would have one of us kids sit on it. So yeah, that and cleaning the rocks out was, some of our favorite chores as kids. And then any of the garden chores, whether it was watering or picking weeds or picking, harvesting the beans and the potatoes and snapping beans, canning tomatoes with my mother in the heat of August when you have no air conditioning. I look back now, of course, with fondness on those memories, but not so much then. Of course, I'd rather have been sitting in a tree reading a book, because that's who I was. That's still kind of who I am, actually. Except now it's sitting in a tree stitching, if such a thing is possible. And if it was like a tree house with comfortable seats, because I'm not so much into sitting on uncomfortable tree limbs these days. Let's see, next. Do you remember any recurring dreams from your childhood? Nope, not at all. I'm lucky I remember a dream from last night, let alone a dream from my childhood. I guess if it had been recurring, maybe that would have stuck in my mind, but nope, not at all. Number 4, can you curl your tongue? Nope, don't have that gene. And that is a genetic thing. That and whether your earlobes are connected or to your head or not. Those are all genetic things. Number 5, what is something you've struggled with throughout your whole life? Definitely my weight. Just like most people, right? I'm a kid who loved sweets. Well, I'm a kid who still loves sweets. Give me anything chocolate and I'm a happy girl. But that does not do well for weight, especially when you're a sedentary kid who likes to sit and read or stitch or, whatever. Let's see. Number 6, can you parallel park and can you drive a stick shift? Yep, to both. In fact, I decided I wanted to learn to drive a stick shift when I was buying my second car, not long after I started to work for the agency. I had traveled to India several times and become friends with people there, and they had a stick shift there, and I guess maybe they were from Hershey, PA, and I don't know whether they were back here for home leave, back there for home leave, or in between postings. But anyway, I went up to they were staying with one of the parents this was a husband and wife friends, and they were with one of their parents in Hershey, PA, and they invited me up and taught me how to drive a stick because I wanted to buy a car that was a stick. And so, yeah, I don't know why. I think just because I felt like I had more control over it. So yeah, my second car was a stick shift. That was a Toyota Corolla manual transmission. Had that for many, many years. Let's see. How well do you react when the internet is slow or your computer acts up? You mean like throwing it across the room? Or wanting to throw it across the room? That is how well I act up, or I react. Oh, and then, oh my goodness, the TV here. We have a streaming service on our TV because they don't have good fiber or cable here where we are. I don't know whether it was super expensive. I don't know what the reason is, but Mike decided to go ahead and just use a streaming service here. And boy, the TV and the streaming service do not play very nicely together. And the past few days, we've been having a hard time getting it to work. Unplugging the TV, plugging it back in, unplugging the TV, plugging it back in. We also got a new one of those digital frames. Our Christmas present to each other, to ourselves, I guess, was this big. And it's like a nice size, 11 by 17, I think. For all of my pictures. Getting that thing to work, we still can't. There seems to be 1 or 2 pictures that every once in a while corrupt it and it will just freeze. And we can't get it to work again, and he has to turn it off and turn it back on, and it's probably going back to Amazon. Let me see where I am. I'm almost at the end of the thread. That's where I am. Okay, so that's that one. This, that. This is 2. Oops, I totally went off camera. Sorry, I had to look at the pattern. I'm actually using a paper pattern on this one. So let's see. Have you ever sent a meal back at a restaurant? Yep, all the time. As somebody who is gluten intolerant, number 1, you can't be too careful, but number 2, it just never ceases to amaze me that how often the servers do not listen, I guess. You order gluten-free, and it comes with either bread on the plate or croutons on the salad. And granted, not everybody knows, but if you're working as a server in a restaurant, or if you're the person that plates up the meal and the order says gluten-free, you should know what that means enough that you don't put... I mean, you have a gluten-free menu. Excuse me. Obviously, you're aware that there are certain things that are not gluten-free. I don't know. Definitely a pet peeve there, right? So yes, I have no problem sending meals back. It's 30 minutes until dinner and you haven't planned anything to make. What do? You get a frozen meal out. Mike and I have found there's a brand called Amy's, organic, but she also has a lot of gluten-free frozen meals that as things get crazy, when Mike can't cook, you know, when he's working all these hours, or he's just too tired, or as things get crazy with the move, we rely on those. So we always try and keep a stash of those in the freezer. Come on. So yeah, that's what we do. Number 10, is there a word you have always pronounced incorrectly but didn't realize it until later in life? I'm sure there is, but it's not something I can remember, so whatever. Number 11, I think this is the last one, yes. Number 11, what is your social Let's start that again. What is your social media pet peeve? Definitely, well, I have a couple of them now, actually. Number 1 is people not being able to just ignore things they don't like. I mean, whether you're on a cross-stitch group or whether you're just out in, in your general timeline, people just want to pick a fight. They just want to put that negative energy out there. And I will never understand that. You see something you don't like? Just scroll past it, people. How hard is that? I don't know. If I had asked for your opinion, I would have put that on the post. Actually, I don't usually post things too controversial. But if I did, and I wanted your opinion, I would let you know. The other thing, though, that has been annoying me to no end for the past few months. Sorry, I'm going off camera because I'm looking at my pattern. for the past few months on Facebook is, well, number one, the birthday thing doesn't work for me anymore. So, you know how on Facebook it has like today's birthdays, and you can click on it and it tells you who the birthdays are, and then you can just click right there and post on their timeline. It doesn't tell me, it'll like show the first one, but I can't see the other ones. And then when I click on it to, write happy birthday, it doesn't do anything. So that hasn't worked for months now. But then the other thing that drives me absolutely insane about Facebook, and I would love to know if anybody else is experiencing this, or if it's just something, and yes, I've updated and I've, closed and opened and all that fun stuff. When I have a notification that somebody has posted, commented on one of my posts, one of my photos in one of the groups, and I click on that notification to be taken to that post, I'm never taken to that post. I'm taken to the group, and then I have to scroll and scroll and scroll to try and find my post. And some of those groups are so active that there are times I never can find my post. It's so far down. And then I can do a search on it and usually find it that way. But if you're giving me a notification that somebody has responded to my post, then for heaven's sakes, take me to the frickin' post. What good is it if you just say, here, you're in the group, find it yourself? Drives me insane. Absolutely insane. So, yeah, if I've there's ever been a time when I haven't responded to a comment, even if it's just like a reaction, like a heart or whatever, or laughter, as I am wont to do, it's because I haven't been able to find my post again. Oh, it drives me insane. First world problems, people, first world problems. Okay, a couple of notes of interest. I heard from my Bob, and I did get the order, the promotional order. I had gotten some digital files, and then I got a kit, the second vitreous, actually it's the third vitreous art piece kit that came in the mail, and I heard from them to let you know that they are continuing to have sales. If you aren't signed up for their newsletter, I highly recommend that you do. My coupon code continues until the end of January, so anytime they have a sale, you can get an additional 10% off using my code, and I will put the links for this down below. And they just want people to know that they are a family business, but they do strive to provide good quality products at prices that, that you really can't be beat. So I highly recommend you check them out. And like I said, get on their newsletter, because they are having, different designers they feature and have sales on their patterns. And I pretty much guarantee you're going to come across things that you've never seen before. Because most of them well, as far as I know, they are all Russian designers. And, well, you know how much I love the Russian aesthetic. Other thing, Bloomtopia. I got in touch with Kelly Stadola because I thought, I'd really like to have a springy bitsy bob to go with my Bloomtopia pattern, for the stitch along. And so I got in touch with Kelly, and Kelly was already planning on doing both the stitch along and the quilt along. And so she ordered some fabric from Fat Quarter Shop, and she's made up some bitsy bobs to coordinate with Bloomtopia. So those are not going to go in the store until, I believe, February 2nd and 3rd. Whoops, wrong hole. The stitch along starts February 1st, but just a heads up to be looking for those if you're interested, if you're going to join along on Bloomtopia, Kelly is going to have some really cute. She's sending me one, so I will share those with you when I get them, or share that with you when I get it. So I think that was all the notes of interest. I will be back on Monday. I am planning on doing the silks video on Monday, so stay tuned for that. Tuesday, of course, is Flosstube Day, and so it goes, right? We will be into another week. Until then, everyone, you guys have a great weekend. I hope you're going to get out there and do something fun. Mike and I plan on going to see 1917, the movie 1917 this weekend, as well as hopefully getting to the North Shore finally. We haven't really gotten out and done anything the past few weekends because he's been working so much. So hope to spend some time outdoors this weekend. And it's also just been pouring rain. In fact, we finally have like a clear sunny day today. This is the first sunny day we've had up here in probably a couple weeks. In fact, I said to the gals at the stitching group, I said, I'm going to have to go to San Antonio to get some sunshine because Hawaii's sunshine has disappeared. But it is back today. It's going to be gorgeous. I believe the weekend's supposed to be nice as well. So hopefully I will have some pretty pictures and pretty videos to share with you on my Flosstube next week. So until then, here I am down in the corner. Like I said, I hope to get this whole center medallion. I got that done last night. Isn't that gorgeous? So the center medallion is in here. Ugh. All right, guys, I will talk to you soon. Have a fantastic weekend. I love you. Bye-bye.